Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Catfish Weekly. Along with Lyle Stokes and Chad Fields from Fields to Water, I'm Josh, the Weekend Angler. And guys, we are going to be talking tonight about a subject that may not be an exciting subject, but it's one that could very well save your life one day. So it's one
I'll bring life to
it.
All right.
Phone's right there.
I almost hit in broadcast. That was a quick show. All right. Josh, before we get started, I do got some tournament results I'd like to go over.
Go for it.
All right, my friend. First, we're going to go over to the King of the Green. Lyle, I know you sent me this long list, but I'm only going to go over the top three because that's what's important. Just kidding, guys. I'm going to go over the top five because somebody near and dear to my heart isn't.
Mikey beat you like a
I know he would. I know he would. All right, this was on the Green River out down in Kentucky, held on 121. We've got in fifth place Josh Vanover and Keith Terrence at 65.2 pounds. At fourth place, we got Jimmy LaRoe and Bumpin' Mike Greenwell with a big fish of 56.75 and a total weight of 66.10. At third place, we got Kevin Yoder and Waylon Yoder, 67.27. At second place, we got Randall Blankenmeyer and Caitlin Blankenbaker. Ooh, that's a last name. 69.9 pounds. And first place, we've got Ricky Islet, Virgin Harden, and Scotty Capisser. They had the big fish of the tournament at 72.13 pounds and an overall weight of 126.78. Good job, everybody, especially Bumpin' Mike Greenwell. But, buddy, you could have caught me a 5-pounder and put yourself in second place. Not trying to give you too much grief, but we're friends, and I'm going to. Let's go over here to the next tournament result that I have. And this is the Winter Blues Tournament held by Fields to Water, one of the greatest YouTube channels of all time. Too much?
No, we'll run with it. It's good.
All right. Well, we won't go with the top six because Dunnigan's finished sixth in that one. But we'll start with fifth. And let's talk about who beat Dunnigan. In fifth place, we got Kelly Bullock in 3+1 at 48.71. In fourth place, we've got Timmy Bullock. Man, both Bullocks beat you. I'm just letting you know that right now. At 69.6 pounds. In third place, we got Danny Stone and Richard Cluck from Fishing and Freedom at 78.64. And in second place, we've got Feelin' Caddy. That's Pam Hollinger with her little midget friend, Kayak Mike, coming in with 80.48 pounds. And coming in number one, Bobcat and Fishizzle and their trusty little live scope at 124.87 pounds. Excellent tournament. It was a great 2-day tournament. Good job to all of them.
I like the rule change this year. Instead of being on numbers, I like seeing it go to weights.
It was
made it fun.
I mean, we ended up with we were full at 16 boats. Only one didn't show up, so we ended up with 15 boats and over 600 pounds of fish.
That's pretty good.
So, very, very good tournament. Let's see. Let's run down here real quick, and we'll say good hellos and good evenings and all that good stuff, except for Sonny Cat and Ever Parker, because this is his morning. He's getting on his way to work. Be safe, my friend. And we will certainly give James Dockery a lot of grief. First in was Chris Everett. Then we got James Dockery Fishing, Hooks and Hammocks, Mike Sampson, Sonny Cat and Aber Parker, Bumpin' Mike Greenwell, Uptown Chrissy Brown, thank you for being a member. Joe Buck 66, Carolina Catfish, Matt from Wannabe Outdoors, Miss Christina Dunnigan, Nubby's Catfishing, Fin Seeker TV, Chad Thomason, Whisker Dreams, JG Hill Studio, Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors, member Mark from Catfish and Crappie, who's got a good guest on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And if you didn't know, he goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern. We got Sean Abney, Mr. Brian B. Catfishing, Mr. Tim Molina, Member Richard from Fishing and Freedom. Dale Hayslip, Real Gals Fish, Mr. Kitty Whiskers. You got Mark Barnum. Member, and what an amazing lady. Get hooked on D-fishing. She did threaten some lives earlier, Josh.
No, I did see that. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you saw that. It made her even more amazing to me.
I saw that she's protecting you. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You remember that. We got Jello and John Patrick Jr. Keith from Fishing and Stuff. Catfish in Fresno. Fishing with JBT. We can get down to the bottom, guys. Crappy Day Fish on 205 Wild Action. Catfish Regulators. Annette's Catfishing. David Smith. Tiger Muskie, New Mexico. Member Betty Jean Cross of A Couples Crosses Fishing. Lance McCoo Guy. Pontoon Jody. More Fishing. That's Bella Wrights, if anybody didn't know. Great channel. Great guy.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Snowblow Texan Adventures. Catfish Weekly. Keith from NWPA Fishing. What a crowd we got in tonight.
Ray Smith joined us. Glad to have Ray.
Yep, member Ray Smith, and there's Creole and Chucky.
Annette's Catfishing.
922 crappie barbecues in there.
John Patrick Jr. Wild Action. That might be a new one for me.
205 Wild Action.
JG Hill Studio. We got a whole bunch of them in there tonight and some new ones. We're glad to have them all. Safety is a full-time job. Don't make it a part-time. You're very right about it.
That is the truth.
Yeah, buddy.
White Man Curtis. Jesse O'Neill's in there. Jesse O'Neill's going to be on our show in a couple of weeks. You might
Very cool. Very cool.
Might want to tune in.
That's it. That's that guy that catches small fish, right?
Not the last one.
I think I saw a photo on Facebook of a little bitty one that he caught. So
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I am very excited to have Jesse on here in a few weeks, where he can tell us how to target and catch them small fish.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There's Fin Seeker TV. Good to see him in here.
Oh, I got a message from Dockery. I love you too, brother.
Why
he didn't message me? I feel left out.
Why is it? I feel that might be a false statement.
There's Danny Stone. He's starting to move back towards his normal time of coming in towards the end of the show, but good to see Danny in here.
Now that Danny's in, we know we can get started.
That's right. That is correct. It will save your behind.
Chris, you're a poet and didn't know it.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. There's Missouri Live Outdoors. You guys wanted to talk a little bit about safety, especially this time of year. So what do you have in mind?
PFDs, number one.
Yeah, that's a big one there. You need to make sure you're wearing it. I'm guilty as the next guy taking it off.
Me too.
I've got one of the auto inflators. I've got one of the good ones, and I still don't put that thing on as often as I need. But no, you definitely need to be wearing them, because I mean, if you fall in that cold water, you're not going to swim.
Not very far.
No,
you're lucky to pull yourself around the boat, hold on to the side of it.
Mm-hmm. And to the person that just sent me the text, they know who they are. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously PFD is very important, and I think too many of us do not wear them when we're stationary, but we should.
Well, I think one of the reasons is you get a boat like mine with real high sides on it, you feel very safe in that. But things can happen.
Hmm. Yeah, if you go out of a high-sided boat, as hard as it is for you to fall out, it's just that much, just that difficult to get back into that thing.
That's right. It's harder, probably.
And Greenwell brings up a real good.
Oh, sorry, I click off something.
Yeah, you took it away there.
I got it.
Greenwell brings up a real good point because Danny Stone and Richard from Fishing and Freedom run into that the other day when they were out fishing. Now they were spot locked and had a big old about half a tree come up there and wham, hit the boat. Had they been on the anchor, had they had an anchor line out, that tree to sunk that boat. You have got to keep your head on a swivel and keep a knife up there, something to cut that anchor line up there at the front of your boat, and only use that knife
For that.
Using tips from my short tip Saturday a couple weeks ago. Use that knife only for cutting that anchor line. Have that ready to go.
I think that a lot of times you're anchored front and rear in the when you're anchored in current. You have a lot of times you are front and
I
rear.
usually throw a drift sock out the back.
Well, that's a lot of people don't have those though.
True.
If you're using two anchors, you should have a dedicated knife at the back and the front of the boat
In the front.
just to cut the ropes with to keep you out of trouble.
Agree that you got to hit that knife. I mean, the short tip Saturday that Josh put out was amazing. If you haven't checked that out,
I tell you what, that
It is. That's great. Them short tip Saturdays is a great thing to tune into.
and I tell you what, that $10 insulation knife impressed the heck out of me. Because I'm gonna tell you, we give a part of it away. I hold an anchor rope up, put my foot on it, so I mean it's got tension just like it would if you were cutting an anchor line. And I hit that thing with that knife; it went right through it.
Wow, that's cool.
Now.
See, you guys you're kind of starting out already on the boat and in situations like that. But to me, I think prep before you get on the water is super duper important.
That's a great idea.
I mean, to me, making sure one that obviously charge all your batteries, but just checking everything before you launch it. Heck, even as far as your trolling motor, making sure it's going to deploy and making sure all your connector, your battery cables are tight. If it doesn't take 2 seconds to turn the ignition switch to make sure you got power, right?
And every boat that's been made in the last 20 years has got a voltmeter on it to tell you if the battery's got enough voltage in it to start it or not.
Yep.
Before you back it in.
Yeah. And then just making sure you put that plug in before you launch too. That's a little important.
Have you ever done that? Not put the plug in?
Not since I've had my boats, but we have done it one time on my buddy's boat years ago.
I've done it twice.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. It happens.
It does happen.
Then you're reaching over the back of the boat, putting the plug in, and
not me. I got too much in the way. I have to.
You can't do it. I get up on plane and I run and I let that water drain all the way out of that boat, and then we stop that boat and I'm over the back of it real quick.
Well, even if I could, underneath my boat, it's recessed up about that far.
Mine is too, but
I've down and then back in. Yeah, I ain't got none of that. That ain't happening. I got to pull up on the bank, crawl in the water, and days like today, ain't gonna be happening.
Yeah, Creole's got real good comment there. He said, "Have a plan. Make sure somebody knows where you are." That's the truth. Let somebody know. You should be doing that, winter or not. You should be letting somebody know that you're going to be out. Tell them where you plan on launching in the river, roundabout when you plan on coming off. We'll all stay a little bit longer than what we plan on, but and have something done. Have plans in case of an emergency.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, to me, I like having a boat buddy, somebody going out, just
I thought
on another boat too. What'd you say?
I thought you said something else.
Safety. We have an idea. However, are we thinking enough? about high wind and current flow, big water issues.
That's a good statement right there.
It is. And I think, one, checking conditions and weather before you go out so you have an idea and what's coming. How many times you're out there and you go out and launch in the morning and it's 3 to 4 mile an hour, but come 10, 11 o'clock, typically around 11 is when a wind shift will change and you can start having those high winds or storms or anything like that. And that can make a big difference.
And there are apps now for everything. There are apps that will give you hourly weather forecasts with the wind speed and direction. There are apps that tell you what the river stage is at, and there's apps that'll tell you how heavy the current is flowing at most of these stations. There's apps that'll show you how much flow is going through them, and you can see what the trend is, so you know whether you're getting out into some dangerous water or not.
Did you know that?
Oh, in some areas, do what, Lyle?
There's an app called Find Ship. And we've used it on the Mississippi and Missouri River, especially Mississippi. It'll tell you where barges and stuff are, the names of them and locations where they're at, which direction you're going. And I'm going to tell you, people say that it's very accurate. They've come down. We've watched them and followed them for miles downriver. And when they get to us, they're right beside us. It's very accurate.
That is awesome.
It's called Find Ship. And it works on any body of water throughout the world, as far as I know.
I'm going to have to get that one because Caitlin and I launched out on the Ohio one day for one of Muskrat's kids' tournaments. And we launched into fog that was so thick you couldn't see anything. And, man, you talk about a pucker factor trying to cross that river. I was every couple seconds on that Marine band radio on channel 13 trying to make sure there wasn't anybody coming through there because I didn't want to find that barge when he's 10 feet away from me in the thing. That's going to be bad. So,
that's something else that you mentioned right there that I know that it's not required.
It should be.
To have a Marine band radio in every boat.
If you're on navigable water, you should have one. And they're not expensive.
They're really not for what you're getting.
You can pick a cheap one up $50 now. And
you can call ahead to any dam and tell them you're coming, want to see if it's able to get locked through. Of course, for the ones that we frequent, I have their phone numbers in my phone because let's face it, how many times have you reached on that rope to pull that bell and it even worked in the last several years? None of them work anymore. They use phones and Marine band radios and stuff. And those guys, if you give them a heads up, they're very nice and cordial and get you locked through and stuff like that. And if you have an issue, that's what you need for quick rescues. At least in my opinion.
That's what I was getting ready to talk about next. I think two things. One, having drive closed just in case, having a pack. But we take towels. That way we are consistently keeping our hands dry, especially in this kind of weather. It does not take much, especially when you're somebody that throws a cast net a lot. I mean, even most of your gloves they'll keep you a little bit dry, but you have to have some really, really good, or putting latex underneath them. But making sure that you're drying them hands off as soon as you're done, trying to keep the air off of them. It's usually not the water; it's the air temperature that's freezing your hands. So,
Matt has brought up something that I was not aware of.
The parrot, huh? I've never tried that. Now you got me wanting to try it.
I'm going to do it in the bathroom.
That's an
emergency.
It don't say which. He didn't say which 3 contacts. You're liable to get your boss checked.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll do it with my personal phone because my boss ain't got my personal phone number.
That right there would be something that any phone manufacturer, if that's the case, should have it on all of them.
I would think so.
Yeah.
What about I would say unless you are in warm water, I would not. And you would need to be very, very, very skilled. I would stay off of cold water.
This
Okay.
cold as it is now, that's 29
Now,
degrees now.
If you are going to chance something like that, a wetsuit of some kind would be a very good idea.
Yeah.
You'd want dry suit in that case.
Dry suit, yeah. Does it look like I fit in one of them? I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but you get the general idea.
I'm pretty sure I don't fit in them either, but
Yep.
I don't think they make them that small.
Whisker Peg makes a real good comment. He said, keep a dry bag of clothes and something to start a fire with.
It's a good idea.
Dog, you can go into camping section and find those little tinder starters and everything. They're cheap.
Yeah.
It don't take anything to light them.
There's 100 YouTube videos or more out there that tells you how to make them, and you can put them in a Ziploc bag.
And you could stop in at Harbor Freight or any place and get one of those magnesium fire starters, and that's better than nothing. You sit there and scrape that with a knife, get that. That magnesium burns. Shoot, I can't remember how magnesium burns hot.
Yeah, it does. Back before I quit smoking, I would have 3 or 4 or more cigarette lighters on the boat because I was always dropping one over or something. It was gone, or if they get wet, they won't light. But I always had plenty. But now I don't have a need for one. But yeah, a guy should keep some way of starting a fire, because the first thing that happens if you get wet, you're going to want heat. That's the fastest way I know of to get it. If you're stranded someplace, is to get her fired up and get you a fire built.
Yep. You can get you one of those cheap.
Good to see you in here.
Get you one of those cheap space blankets, those little Mylar blankets. That's better than nothing.
They work.
They do
This
work.
is something important you should always have on your boat, whether it's cold or not, because you never ever know when your motor is going to stop. New, used, old, whatever.
That's right.
You need to have one of them.
Yep.
And then keeping up on your oil changes and stuff like that's important.
I don't smoke, but I always have some way of starting a fire just because it's fun to start fires sometimes.
You sound just like Danny.
It is. We got some kinship going on right there.
Yeah, something.
Jody says she keeps jumper cables on the boat. That's a good idea. Jumper cables or a jump box. You can even bring a jump box.
Yeah.
Jump boxes are lightweight anymore. They're almost maintenance free.
Mine's really not that lightweight, but it's got a lot of ass behind it.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good size one, and then we've got a small one in the cars. But
Doc used to carry one. It was called a Gulu, something like that. It was about this big. He swore you could jump start anything with it.
One of NOCO, was it?
I don't think so.
Because NOCO makes some real small ones now with lithium batteries.
He had that for years and years. But
I have 2 different battery that when we first started, instead of buying a converter, we were all buying those, battery packs, right? And used them. But there's a NOCO, and I can't remember the other brand that I have, but they both have a charge that you can jump your battery with. So it's really nice.
Yeah, that's what Doc had. Another thing that people forget about, and Doc was religious about this, and I know he still is, he would keep at least one complete hub assembly with greased bearings in his truck. And I'm pretty sure he had 2, but I know he had 1. And if he had problems out on the road, he just pull the hub off, take the wheel off, pull the hub off, put another one on, tighten her up, you're ready to go. No wheel bearings back, no nothing. Just put your cotter pin in and put the wheel back on, down the road motor as you go. Great idea if you're doing any traveling to have that. Only takes a few minutes to do that. It takes longer to take the wheel off and put it back on than it does to change the hub, I promise you.
Yep. And you can take if you just have your bearings, you can take and go ahead and grease pack those. Have them grease packed. If If you have a vacuum sealer, best thing in the world is a set of bearings. Vacuum seal those bearings. There's nothing going to be getting to them. If anything, it pushes that grease even further inside those things.
That's right.
Cut them open. You're good to go.
I have a bearing packer. It shoves the old grease out, new grease in, but I always clean the bearings before I grease them. That way you can check them for pits and discoloration. Because if it's discolored or it has pits, you got it out, just go ahead and replace it.
They're cheap.
Yeah. And change the race. Don't just stick a new bearing in on an old race. That's the most asinine thing that you could possibly do.
I don't have them in here, but keeping yourself warm. Somebody mentioned something in chat though that you know the hot hands, but they actually make this peeling sticks, and those things are wonderful for keeping you warm. Putting them on your kidneys and your chest, you'll be amazed at how much warmer that will keep you out in the water, out on the water.
You said peeling sticks. I was thinking altogether something different with Josh and his stickers up in Mendota last year.
Yep. Nubby's got a good point. Keep dry toilet paper on the boat.
You planning on needing that, Josh?
If you need it, you need it. If not, you start
That's
firing.
going to take its place. Nothing takes its place.
I mean,
That's exactly right, Creole. 100% fact right there, buddy.
you're very always like taking a.
But
Yeah.
me and Buck's gonna have words. This is the second or third comment about my phone.
Uh-oh.
You laugh about toilet paper, Lyle, but if you remember March of 2020, what was every store out of? They didn't run out of food first. They ran out of toilet paper first. People weren't thinking about if you ain't eating, you ain't doing the other thing. But
That ain't never going to happen around here again. I guarantee you.
Fuses are definitely a good thing to keep it. Keeping a little box of something,
Yeah.
and fuses and just at least a few tools was also very helpful.
you're never going to be able to prepare for everything,
No.
but be able to, the common things that are going to happen, and taking care of that, especially this time of year, cold water. You need a way to get dry.
Yeah.
You need to change your clothes once you do get dry, and you need some way of letting somebody know that you're in a bind.
Sonny Parker's been trying to get us lined out to where he could do a safety show with us for probably a year, maybe longer. And he's got a bunch of stuff that he wants to talk to people about, not necessarily for winter, just safety factors. And he called me right before the show started, and he says one thing that people forget about is ice fishing floatable suits. And I hadn't thought about that. And Cindy and I have Frables. I'm not even sure they make them anymore. But she come in here and looked, and ours, the last set we got, is floatable. And not only are they warmer than a regular winter thing because they're made to float, they will suspend you in the water, keep you from sinking. And there's a lot of companies that make them, and they might be a little bit higher, but they're not that much higher if you're safety minded to just pay the extra couple bucks and get them. I didn't know the Frables that we have. The last ones we got are black, and we didn't get the jackets, just the bibs, and they are floatable. So if I wish we'd have got the jackets now too, because like I say, I'm not sure they're even making them anymore. But they made great products. They was as good as anything on the market. We have the gray ones and the black ones, and if they come out with them, I'd probably they're a little cheaper than most of the other companies, or they was. And if they come out with them new again, I'd probably buy a new set for both of us.
Yeah, and did you say something about the boots as well?
Yeah, Sonny said to buy your boots at least one size larger.
Then we can kick them off easier.
So you can kick them off easier. 100% correct. The last thing, if they fill up with water, that's a lot of weight, and it's pulling straight down on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with somebody like has feet the size that I do, when you're wearing 14s.
Are they like skis?
Yeah.
You know what they say about guys that wear big shoes, right?
Tell us.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money. It's hard to find shoes.
It costs a lot of money, and you got to buy bigger socks too.
Yeah. Yeah, socks are hard to find too.
Yeah, you got to get the bigger socks.
Yep.
And one thing I've noticed, and you think about it a lot in the summertime, keeping hydrated. But one thing I would definitely make sure you have is plenty of liquids to drink, because that cold can definitely send you into spasms, and that makes it much more unsafe, and chances of falling over or falling in, whatever, increase with that kind of stuff. And
That's
I've noticed it more in the wintertime than I do in the summertime. The amount of muscle cramps I have when I'm out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't you ran into trouble after the Baldwin bash, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody flattened all 4 of my tires, and nobody would help me pull that cart. And
Well, if you didn't go around loosening people's drags, people wouldn't flatten your tires. So
really.
I would never.
Type 1 life jackets are key to someone seeing you from the air. Did not.
y'all give me a hard time about my my blaze orange bibs and everything, but
see you.
You're gonna find me. Or if I don't make it, they're gonna find my body. You know, Christina, I have something to bury. So
Yeah. But there's a lot of things. I know we was going on before. This is a mask that I got from Rob at Whisker Wear when he used to sponsor Cindy and I. It has a cover over your eyes. It has breathable spots for your nose and your mouth underneath of it. It velcros to the back of your head. It stops all wind from, if you're traveling, it'll keep you warm traveling down the water. Now, that never was my issue. My issue was always my hands and my feet. But I do have 1,200 grain thinsulate boots. 3 or 4 different types of liners that go in them. Them real thick felt ones, I can't hardly wear them. They're just too hot. But it's got 2 other kind. I know 2 other kind. And they are very comfortable. And again, they are size 12 when I wear a 10.5. So all I got to do is get to the shoelace and I can get it off. If I can get it undone, I can get it off. Might not even have to get it undone, but that's a really good thing. The sunny. Oh, and with my mask, it comes with a yellow visor in cases.
You know the nicest thing about that mask, though?
What's that?
It covers your face. Creole says, also let your outboard warm up a few minutes before taking off in the water. Cold oil plus full throttle equals sad face.
Yeah, I agree. I should always let them warm up in the winter. Always.
Yep. Watch for that telltale. They'll start to, that outboard will start peeing when it's starting to get warm enough. So. Yeah, but Parker says that, but he has one of those ones that, like, when you blow, it comes out with that paper, goes like that. Like, yeah.
Let's see. Folks want you to put it on, Lyle.
What's that?
Chris asked me to put your mask on. He's wanting.
Yes, but I'll try to.
These are easier.
Yeah, Josh has got one too.
Yeah, honestly, I see a lot of people wear like the paintball mask and stuff. They buying them for running that cold weather.
These things are a little bit more than the paintball mask, but it's a solid front. Its venting is all up here above your forehead. So when you put this thing on, and you're in the driving rain or whatever, it does not let that in there.
It's good to go. With, like I say, I can breathe through it. The nose part's here, and you got holes for your mouth. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but it stopped all the wind getting to you. So,
Lyle,
sir,
do me a favor. Repeat after me. Chad, Josh.
No.
I am your father.
No.
Shh.
No. But these work really well. They'll keep you warm.
I would expect to have it on when I came home.
Yeah, I agree with Murillo here. He does look more like Snake Eyes than he does like Darth Vader.
He does. I didn't think about that.
He looked like Snake Eyes.
Mark is Chad's father.
Lyle looks like an egg dealer.
Hey,
You know how many screenshots people just took of that, and I don't care. Go ahead and take
right
it.
now, being an egg dealer might be okay.
No doubt.
Yeah.
$5 a dozen here.
$5-6 a dozen. Yeah. I thought we got a home run the other day. We got them for 4.5.
Cody, I put it on. There you go. Won't hurt your delicate eyes.
What else have we talked about?
See the carry that.
A lot of things. I'm sure there's a lot that we're missing
Oh,
out on.
sure is. What do you guys have in chat? You guys have been great, being engaged in it. So.
Jody's been putting all kinds of stuff in there. Of course, she's got pontoon boats. She got room for all this stuff she keeps putting in there.
Yeah, she was saying earlier she's got totes and totes on her.
She was saying bug spray. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't carry bug spray this time of year.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
I ought to carry sunscreen. You can get burnt.
You get wind burnt.
You get wind burnt real easy. You can get some aloe.
Shanti, that's exactly what I mean. I know some people are anti-water or something, but
yeah, Sean's absolutely right.
100%.
Honestly, this Powerades, Gatorades, stuff like that can keep you hydrated. Cokes and Mountain Dews and stuff like that, they will quench your thirst for a minute, but they're not going to help keep you hydrated.
I'm going to say it doesn't last much longer.
No, the amount of salt and sugar that they have in those drinks, it's counterproductive.
It's like coffee tastes good, but it'll dehydrate you over enough period of time. So
yeah.
I'm sure that Chris is talking about checking your safety chains and your tire pressure. But if you're a responsible boater, you should be checking them tire pressures every time you leave the house.
Mm-hmm. I'm not responsible.
You know, they make you know, all your vehicles now, pretty much all of them have that tire pressure monitoring system in them now.
Right.
They make remote TPMSs for your trailers. And you have a little display there to tell you your tire pressure right there on that trailer. If you have a dual axle trailer, it has 4 sensors.
Crazy Black.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Careful there, Josh. Oh, Chrissy, you're too much. A blowtorch gently to lower your unit for a few seconds and freezing. That's not a bad idea either.
Not a bad idea. I tell you what, you do want to take and before you launch that boat, take and spin that prop by hand. If it won't turn around, go right back home because you got bigger problems. You don't need to be out there on the water.
If it don't turn, you better be looking to see where the crack's at.
Yeah, because you have water in your lower unit at that point.
Yes, you do.
But I tell you what, I do bring a propane torch. We have had to take and hit the drain plug hole with a
get the plug in
to be able to get the plug in. It had an icicle hanging down from it.
No kidding.
And so I'm like, well, we'll have to hit this. And
I finally found mine, but I have that inverter that I hook up. I have one battery just for that, so we can keep phones charged and stuff like that. And I finally found it. We were doing some spring cleaning yesterday, and my hot air gun, that will be going with me in the wintertime to make sure that the shaft of the trolling motor gets, all locked up and stuff. I will be using it.
You would need that. You are no shortage of hot air.
I'm in 100 agreements with that.
The way Catfish Weekly should be. Now, we got rid of them two. I can't do it. I love them too much. Anyway. Can't believe you all treat me like this.
Yes, you can. There's a pretty good one from Matt. Just have a bag and think before you go. What if fire, shelter, food, water, powder, gator packs, or Pedialyte powder packs, light source, and so on. Anything can fit in a dry bag. And flashlight is another great
Oh
thing.
yeah.
We have spotlights in our boat, 2 million candle powers, a couple of them. They work great, but a flashlight is irreplaceable.
Mhm.
And the ones that you put on your head are better yet, in my opinion, because you put it over your head, and wherever you look, that's where the light shines. I know you got one, don't you, Chadwick?
Chad, get them ahead. Yep.
And you know the
And
nice thing with this
they're
is,
inexpensive now. You know, you can
oh no, this I think was like free, but really I think they're like $10 or something.
yeah,
And these are the nice ones that well, if you can get them open,
You know
they
where there's
actually
a
have the
great
charge
video
port.
about them?
Do what?
You know where there's a great video about headlights?
I don't want to watch one about headlights.
Headlights for you,
Oh,
like that
money.
one you got there.
Yeah.
Keith at Fish and Stuff has a great video about those.
Keith who? Never heard of him.
Fishing and Stuff. My buddy, unlike you.
That's my buddy.
No.
All I got to say to him, said it once, I'll say it again. But these are nice too. And talking about not like batteries and stuff is, a lot of people probably have the type chargers that they require, and a lot of these are rechargeable now that they're selling, and they're wonderful. Can you not give Dockery a?
I thought about that right after I turned to that. I'm gonna get a.
And some of these too have the emergency flashers on them as well, so that's nice.
Yeah, I've got one that I picked up and didn't even realize this till I got it home. It'll flash SOS if you push the button a few times. Man,
Really, Shanti? Knowing your own limits is most important. If you think something is wrong, it probably is. Don't take chances. Yeah, there ain't no sense of being a hero out there.
That's very true. Fishing Fever says in cold weather, especially for a small boat, spend the money, buy a bilge pump. It's not worth it to not have it. Trust me. That's a great advice. And a lot of the smaller John boats are riveted, and a lot of them leak a little bit.
Yep.
Just put your bilge pump in the back.
Put your bilge pump in, and
I highly recommend the one to kick on automatically, but if you can't, just get one with the on-off switch. You can look back there. If there's water in it, kick it on. Kick the water out, you're done. And you don't have to drill a hole. You can just toss the hose over the back of the boat.
You can buy the switches. If you already have a bilge pump, you could buy the float switch that'll turn it into automatic. And you could wire that in to where you still have a manual side that you can run it when you want, or you can kick it over to automatic. And I did a whole video showing how to wire that. It's on my channel, how to wire an automatic bilge pump, and it will walk you straight through it. So
that's not that hard to do.
They're easy.
Yep.
Danny Stone says Excedrin migraine, nothing ruins a trip more than a headache. That's true.
That is true.
I like ibuprofen though. So
800 milligrams.
Big Wrench said a mag light could be used as a hammer and a weapon. That's true.
It might. Yeah, I can see whacking somebody with one.
You get one of those old, who makes those? Coleman thermos. Could be used as a trailer jack. Don't ask me how I know that. But it will work.
Hey, MacGyver. The York has 2 holes, needs 2 pumps. Well, if you need 2, I'd probably go with 4 with that kind of boat.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, you know. Let's see.
Quarter mile car conservation intern came by, give me a ride. The headlamp I had was brighter than his gator.
Michelle says, Danny, you should get all basic first aid supplies, bandages, tapes, and stuff. Cindy has kept a first aid kit in our boat and in our truck for as long as I can remember. And I want to say that started with kids, but I'm not sure it was the kids. Back in the days when I worked in the garage, she's dug more crap out of my eyes
Mm-hmm.
most eye doctors have in a lifetime, because I never wore, well, back in those days, nobody told you to wear safety glasses. You had to make money, so you just got on there and got it done. And if something got in your eye, you got somebody like her to jerk it out. I mean, it's the way it worked. Extra rope, good idea.
See, I saw one a second ago.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Freddie. Appreciate it.
You can get, I'll say this, First Aid made me think of it. You can get Harbor Freight, Walmart, wherever, you can get a 3-pack of super glue for about $1. And if you cut yourself bad enough, you can super glue that back shut.
That's right.
And I laid myself open with an electric fillet knife one time and had Christina super glue it because I'm stubborn and didn't want to
Just
go down.
once.
Just once. You let yourself open with an electric fillet knife one time, and that's enough. You learn not to do that again.
I bet.
It was starting to fall off the table. I went to grab it and caught it by the blade.
Oh, man. Wow.
Now I just let it fall. I get a new one.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm thinking you were right about that. Wow.
Yeah, David, we talked about that earlier, making sure somebody knows your plan. That where you're launching from, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good advice.
There's a real good one there. Make sure your boat has gas in it. That is
Yeah,
true.
that gas is a little bit important.
Yes, it is.
Brad Beck's, absolutely. Super glue works great on cuts. It sure does.
It does. Glad to see you in chat tonight, Brad.
Christina remembers that.
I bet she does.
I think it took 2 or 3 applications of that super glue to get that to quit.
Hey, whatever it takes. Sometimes you ain't got no choice but to get stuff like that done.
Yeah,
That's really neat if that's true.
yeah, I was getting ready to highlight that one.
Now I'm going to be checking that. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to be looking stuff up after the show.
Well,
But that is really cool.
Your first thing to prove that you can believe it is Kentucky. I mean, he's obviously an honest person if he's from Kentucky. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
I've really been trying to be nice to Chris.
what's Chris say?
Sean T told Chris to remember his booster seat.
Hello, Chris, Muddy River
What's up, Chris
Catfish,
Flores?
buddy.
Chris?
Yeah, JG. Yeah, I think that's one of the. Well, I think my biggest fear is getting ran over by a barge in the fog. But falling in is definitely up there. And talking about rope, make sure your ropes are good. Ropes do go bad, but you can make a makeshift ladder, if you will, that you can hook on to your cleats and stuff to be able to get back up into your boat.
Can you climb a rope ladder?
Out of the water, if it's that cold, as soon as it hits right about mid thigh, yep, I'm probably climbing already because I'm trying to not get my boys wet. So
Go around to the back. Go around to the back of the boat. If that outboard ain't running, climb up on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plate of that lower unit.
You ever seen one of those ladders you hang off the side of a pool?
Mm-hmm.
We have one of them in the floor of my boat. It has a door. You open it up, and there it is. You can stick that over the side of my boat anywhere and crawl right up in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even from the side though, most people, you put it onto your cleat, your rope onto the cleat. If you didn't, just make a loop to where you can get your foot up onto it and then tie it back off. You can use that force to be able to get back up into your boat. So that's why I'm saying making sure that your rope is in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Check it from time to time. Ropes dry rot. We leave them out in our boat a lot. So
and the sun gets them, and the rain gets them, and the snow, and the sleet, and the freezing cold. Yeah, they take a hell of a lot of abuse. Yeah. And how many people actually check them? Then they get mad because they lost an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd it go? Himself is an amp like life. Said if you haven't said it already, it will show your location, whether you're moving and in which direction. That is true. And you can use if you get on Google Maps, you can share your location on Google Maps with somebody. I did that one day out on the river, and it'll show you how fast you're moving and everything out there.
I did not know that.
Shanti's goal. I love it. Fish with me and D.
Life 360 gets the Fishing and Freedom seal of approval there. So you can create a network in there and keep people you keep up with you when you're out in the water, out in the woods. That's a good idea. Matt says you can share location on Messenger also. You know,
I just ain't sharing my waypoints.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to watch. You got to watch who you're sharing this with. If it's not somebody that's going to have normal access to your waypoints, you may not want to be.
Are you worried about Jason going down there and fishing your spots, Chad?
I will tell Jason every waypoint I have. There is a close network of friends that if they ask me, I will give them every waypoint I have.
Man, I've never been one.
None of them are on screen right now because I don't trust you, mother. You know what? But
Man,
you two would be selling them. I know you two.
Chad wouldn't have to worry about that at all. Chad wouldn't have to worry about that.
I am a safe person.
Yes, you are. You drive like an old granny. That is the slowest I've ever gone from Baldwin to Mount Vernon.
Now, share with the people. They see you making me look bad right now. Acting like I was doing like 30 in a 70. So
you were doing like 30 in a 55.
Oh, that's a bold poop.
And I was wanting to run about 75 and said 55.
I was doing 5 miles over the speed limit, and that wasn't fast enough for some people who have, like a souped up Hemi that they MacGyvered into a, couldn't keep up. That's what I'm saying.
Like Parker says, I run the river like Dale Earnhardt, and I guess I run those back roads like the Duke boys. So,
well, that's okay.
What about Wiley spots? Find the phone. I told you I left my phone at Wiley so I can watch you all encroaching on my fishing hole.
Yeah. Is that where you lost your phone?
That is where he lost his phone.
Wow. Yep. It wasn't the first year. It was the second year that I beat Keith from fishing and stuff in a fishing tournament. So
I wouldn't be telling.
Back-to-back years it happened. I just wanted to let everybody know that.
I wouldn't let that out too many times. He'll be going gunning for you.
The same day that you and I both lost our phones.
Hey, I tell you what, it was the same day.
I think it was the same day.
I got news for you. You know what? People can make fun of me driving the speed limit to 5 miles an hour over all they want, but at $3, $4, $5, and $6 a gallon, I watch my fuel like a hawk when I'm driving. I want the best fuel I can get.
That's nothing.
I want people to see my carbon footprint coming out of my exhaust.
I wish I had your money.
I wish I had yours, but
and I wished I had Mark's.
Okay, yeah, Lyle's got a plan.
Oh, we'd all love to have that. Speaking of Mark will be live here in about 5, 6, 20 minutes, whenever we decide to end. We'll then give him permission to go live.
Have a great
Typically he goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern, right after us. He has Micah Burkhart, who is the new Tennessee state record holder. So
yeah,
go over and check him out. Yes, I have. I captained that boat twice. Therefore, I won. I have never, ever seen Keith catch a fish. So I'm just that much better than fishing and stuff.
Oh, wow. My God.
I will probably get another text message here for it.
You probably got emojis already. If you shouldn't, you ought to have.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh man.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy.
Was you going to bring that up tonight about the stuff we was talking about before the show, Josh?
I forgot which one now, so probably not.
Okay. See if I
Oh,
can.
where he said I'll send you the video.
I got a message in Messenger from Abbott said if he'd have known about safety glasses when he was younger, he wouldn't be getting eye surgery now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're important. I still don't like, I don't like wearing them.
I don't either, but they call them safety glasses for.
You should wear them. I got me a face shield for when I'm using the angle grinder, and
Yeah.
you don't
And
want
I
their.
like those better than safety glasses.
I do too because it covers your whole face, your
Right.
nose, your
Yeah.
mouth, everything, and
Well, if you've ever had a grinding ball, hot metal go up your nose, you won't never forget it.
I'll throw those on when I'm running the angle grinder, but
Yeah.
the whole
I
thing you threw your phone in the water and said you caught a fish.
I will let everybody know that their Gerald Gomez is got a push going on to get Sharina up to 1,000s. So be sure to go over to her Facebook or her YouTube channel and check it out. Sharina keeping it real. There's going to be a bunch of giveaway stuff. Nocturnal Nation's giving away some stuff, and they want to get this done before CatCon, so be sure to go over there and check them out. We'll be giving away 5 pounds of cut carp fillets, which is Blue River carp. It's a bait. Guard Dog's going to be donating a pro model and stickers. Not sure what that is. And Gerald's going to be giving away a medium heavy Uncle Lou rod and 150 hooks, carp and catfish tackle, and Procure products. So go over there and help Sharina out.
Good deal. Good deal. Looks like Dieter's going to help her out.
Yep.
Is Dieter make it in?
Dieter is. He said hello to the two ladies and the stud up, the good-looking guy over in the top left corner.
I'm pretty sure that's not what he said, but I'll bet.
So much.
I was a betting man, and I am. I would.
Yeah,
Bet
I wasn't about that, Jello.
I'm thinking Dieter probably owns stock in Tyson, just as one of the largest producers of chicken.
You're using all those chickens is the reason eggs are $12 a dozen now.
That ain't the only thing. Have you bought any chicken breast lately?
No, I don't like chicken breasts.
I don't either. About $5-6 a pound, thanks to Dieter, and them guys used them for bait.
Yeah, I try not to.
Has anybody ever done this?
What?
Fishing this stuff. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
Fishing stuff.
That's right. I want him to sit in timeout and think about his actions.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Legend status right here, pal. You will respect thy authority.
You didn't time out Keith. You can't time out Keith.
Oh, it's done. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm gonna hold on because I want to show that I did this.
Fishing and stuff.
Screenshot engaged.
You can't time out fishing and stuff.
Hey, come at me, bro. Come at me again. That's all I got to tell him.
You can't time out Keith.
Oh,
Call me later, bro.
Chad D is going to time you out in the bait shop Thursday.
Scared of her. I need a lock on this door on the inside.
You can't time Keith out.
Man, that is crazy.
Oh, man.
You know what's really nice? If we end right on time, he is timed out all the way until next Monday night. See you, Keith.
Wow.
I don't know what he said, but I can't believe you timed Keith out. Holy crap. I don't think you might be the only person that ever timekeeps.
The
Wow.
champ.
Oh man. Wow.
Man.
Anything any closing statements, gentlemen?
Sure thing, D. D said to kick Chad out of the show. We'll take care of that.
Oh my.
Oh, Chad is in trouble.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
Bait shop is a place where the world's problems get solved.
That's right. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come on over and hang out with us. God only knows what we'll be talking about.
Have you got a co-host for that show yet?
Well, Freddie's still on temporary leave of absence.
Mm-hmm.
Brian B's. We wouldn't have to go to a temp agency and hire Brian B.
Yeah, Brian did a good job the other day. I said he'd make a good full-time host.
Yeah, he helped out quite well the last couple of weeks. So every Thursday night, Steve. What do you mean? Is there a new Steve? We've done like 130 bait shops. It's not new, bro. Pay attention. I'll time you out too, Steve. I don't care how big. I don't care how big they are, Josh. Bring on. Where's Catfish and Crop or Catfish and Carp? Bring him in. I'll time him as a butt out too.
What's wrong with you?
A lot.
Yeah,
seriously, I haven't fished in the last 2 weekends. So, I mean, we put on the tournament, but
Captain Greg, you can't.
What's up, Captain Greg?
You cannot time out fishing stuff.
No,
anybody else.
Timing out key.
Anybody else, but not.
We got to keep going until.
I guarantee you, I am like the only one that can do that.
You're the only one that would.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nobody else would do it.
No.
Nobody else would do it.
I love how that one action shut down the entire show at the end.
It shut chat down. Did you notice that? It just everybody was like, "Oh."
Well, we'll be on right after the bait shop next Thursday night with, or this Thursday night with Panfish Nation. And we'll be back next Monday night with Chad's guest.
Yeah, we have a guest next week.
We do.
We do.
Want to tell everybody about her?
Nah, we'll give it a surprise.
Okay, there you go.
We'll have the thumbnail out later this week.
We will.
We got guests lined up the next couple of weeks, and we'll get those scheduled and all that good stuff. But we have a pretty good guest.
I'll do that, Dieter. If I don't, call me because it means I'll have forgotten. Not gonna lie, I'm really liking Crazy Chad.
Here before long, I'll just start talking nonstop like Danny.
Oh man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a great show. I hope you guys learned something. We appreciate all of your help in chat with all the new stuff that we come up with for cold water safety. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do so. We'd appreciate it very much. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'd love to have you a subscriber, and it always is a privilege to have people join. You can hit that button down at the bottom, and at the end of the month, coming right up in a couple of weeks, we're going to give away a tumbler to one of the members that has joined. Anything else, fellas?
No, make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out, and make sure you go over and check out Mark from Catfish and Crappie. He's got Micah Burkhardt on tonight. New Tennessee.
And don't forget Saturday, short tip Saturdays.
Yeah, I didn't get to post one this week. I was going to touch on that. The idea I had kind of fell apart on me, but it's been fixed. You know, every once in a while you run across one, you're like, okay, this is going to work, and then you start filming it, and it's like, wow, this thing was a total fail. So I had to wait a week on that one because I had to redesign something. But there is going to be a good one come out this weekend, and there is a really good one coming up sometime in the next couple weeks. People are going to want to watch that one because it's something that's pretty much unheard of.
Yep.
So
Looking forward to it.
we're gonna build something. It's easy.
Hey, that's what I like.
Apparently now Keith's got me banned from CatCon, so I'm gonna start my own. It's gonna be called KeithCon.
That'll
And,
teach.
it's gonna be called. I'm gonna start one. It's gonna be called the Fishing and Stuff Convention.
I think I'll just go to CatCon.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Thanks everybody for watching. See you next week.
See y'all. Have a great week.
Have a good week, everybody.